two teams that have joined the Death Blossoms tournament, Aris and Cookie Bytes. And with me here, we also have Eli and myself, Nuadin.
Hi there. Um, we're really excited. We just got off our last match in this doubleheader. So we just casted a Belladonna's versus Monka S. That was a great game, lots of fun, and we're really excited to see what this game brings.
Yeah, the last match, if anyone was there, was an amazing matchup. It was very even teams. And here currently, as I said, we have Team Cookie Bites and Team Aris going up against each other. They're in bracket 2, which is our Platinum League, or it's mostly made out of Platinum teams. So very excited to see what they'll come out with and see where they go from there. Um, Now, I do know out of the two teams, the captain on Team Aris, which is Team 2 here, they haven't quite updated their names yet. Demi Laren is the captain of that team. And on Cookie Bites, their team captain, they have a different name on here, but on the form, it was Receive and Bite You. So I'm not quite sure who the captain is of those teams, but excited for both of them. Just looking forward to it. And as we saw in the last matchup, we're going to have three maps that they're going to go to in this first. We're currently in our first week of the tournament. There's three maps that each team has to go through. The first one is Ilios, and then we have Junkertown, and then finally Hanamura.
Yeah, in the last match, we saw a lot of different strategies come out on each map. Some triple tanks, some snipers, a lot of Junkrat. So let's see what these teams bring out. Maybe a little bit more snipers. Different tank lineups, maybe more dive. So we'll see what they want to run on these maps.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw you the same question you tossed me last time, Eli, in our first game that we casted. For Ilios, is there a map that is your favorite? Or Ilios has three mini maps. Is there one that's your favorite or one that you dislike?
My favorite, I definitely have to say, is well. I'm like a environmental kill like chaser. Like I love seeing that in the kill feed, the boops and the Orisa pulls. So two of my mains are Orisa and Lucio, and they just have the best time on that map, obviously.
Of
So I
course.
really like that map because one of the environmental kill potential, but also two, the large well in the center makes it a lot more difficult to it makes it a lot more difficult to play around because that there's always that threat of falling in. So it makes for a lot more interesting gameplay, I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely not a normal capture point for King of the Hill or otherwise. You don't normally have something in the middle of capture point, especially something so deadly, which you can get knocked into. Um, it is a bigger capture point, more space because they do have that thing in the middle, but it changes up the dynamic of it because you have that whole area outside of it.
hmm And then it's not just the well itself as well. There's a lot of different side flanks and routes that you can take. We talked a little bit about this last time, but we talked about how Ruins is kind of very linear, while on, say, a map like Well, there's a lot of like those little rooms and side routes that a lot of different flankers and characters can go in and take different engagements from. So it's a lot more exciting that way as well.
Yeah, and for those that didn't tune into the last video, in it I specifically said Ruins was my least favorite map of Ilios. Sorry to anyone who likes it, but very much, very linear, much more linear gameplay than some of the other maps of Ilios that I just think are overall a little bit better.
So they're calling out ready. They're asking if we're ready. So I just let them know, and we should be starting any second now.
Perfect. Also, to give you all some information on Team Aris is actually a Death Blossoms established team. They've actually been around one of the longest teams, at least with the core members. They're a very friendly team and very family oriented within the team. So they're definitely a good team to root for. But both of these will be great teams to root for.
So here we're starting out on Lighthouse. So this was actually the map we didn't see in our last. Oh wait, no, sorry, we did see this. So this is Lighthouse. So this is the map we didn't talk about, but on both sides we see there's them starting to choose their characters, and we actually see Orisa on both sides for the time being. But of course, they can always change that right up until they leave the spawn.
That seems like an interesting pick. Is that one that you would normally see on Lighthouse? I don't recall seeing Orisa too much used on this map.
It's definitely strong if you can take advantage of the capture point, if you can kind of set up there and deny anyone else from coming in. But again, that's contingent on the fact that you kind of take the first capture and you're able to have the Orisa kind of set up on point very with her static shield.
It actually looks like we're having a very similar matchup. The only difference I see between the two teams is the Roadhog and D.Va. So I wonder how that difference is going to play into the teams getting the point.
Yep. So we see both teams have the Lucio for the speed boost. They're just speed boosting out a point, trying to get that first capture. And so we'll see how the teams want to come in. The team of Cookie Bytes does come on to point, but very similar timing as Aris, and Tripit actually goes down very quickly. Just a few rockets from Crystal Cat. And now the team, Aris is being pushed off point a little bit, but Amanda does take out Hotel Bones, gets traded out by Majima Goro. And Knife Cat does get Hotel's Bone back up, so the team of Cookie Bytes does have the man advantage, and they are able to get a few more kills and clean out point.
Yeah, we definitely see Cookie Bytes come in with a strong attack. They went straight to the point and made some early picks that really helped them to take advantage of that push. And we got to see from Pesky, your favorite, an environmental kill off Mercy in the end there.
We see here that Aris is coming back in, trying to fight with this Orisa shield. Just pushing in very slowly, but the enemy Orisa shield is staying up a little bit longer thanks to that the Roadhog breaking down Aris's. Pesky does get Amanda, but Amanda's res back up, pops the shield back down and starts focusing on Hotel Bones. Amanda with a quick ultimate pops it just straight up, trying to break the shield, get a good fight down. Stardust does pop the Valk. Amanda's supercharge does go down. Pesky does have the sound barrier, so it does pop it. Tripit's still building up to it, almost there, just 91%. A Justice comes out from Jodam and does get a nice kill. Amanda finishing off Knife Cat as well. The sound barrier from Tripit helps keep them all alive, and that's a nice clean fight from Aris.
Yeah, great push from them. Very, very intended. They knew what they were going to do. The Orisa, they stayed back with the Orisa a little bit, using the shield, waiting for the right pick, and then pushing in when it was needed.
Yeah, with these Orisa comps, we're seeing the engagements be a lot slower than we might expect on a typical control map, but it's working out for each team so long as they're playing around them. Here we see Cookie Bytes start coming back in. A nice hook onto Demi, and she gets D-maxed. Majima Goro pops the ultimate, knowing that there's no D.Va to eat anymore. The shield is mitigating a lot of the damage for the side of Aris, though. Both supports and Amanda still alive. Amanda with another quick ultimate, but it does get taken out, as well as Tripit. Amanda popped off. Genos tries to run back on with the ultimate, does take out Knife Cat, but will have to run away with Hotel Bones picking off Jodam as well.
Yeah, we see, that the soldier using the ult seemed to scare off the Pharah a little bit on Aris' side, with all good reason. That soldier ult will take out a Pharah very quickly.
Genos gets hooked by Hotel's Bone, gets taken out late, and there's not a lot of time for Aris to come back in. They do switch on to the Rhine, so maybe they'll be able to push on a little bit quicker with this now. Amanda just walking up onto point, already at 91%. Jodam hits the Orisa shield and gets taken out. A bomb coming in though from Demi, gets two. A Hotel Bones gets taken out by Tripit, and this should be a nice clean fight from Aris off of Demi's D.Va bomb.
Definitely a great bomb, helped to initiate the fight. The team pushed in as soon as it was pushed out. Once again, we're seeing Aris pushing at the right times. And both teams are being very tactical with it, mainly because of the reset. Though it looks like the Aris has actually taken a new strategy and has pulled out the Reinhardt.
Yeah, and Amanda does have the Shatter already, even though she just switched onto it. But she will have to come up big in this next fight because it is the only ultimate on the side of Aris. And as I say that, she gets hooked off the side by Hotel Bones. A big a pick to get for the side of Cookie Bytes. This is not good for Aris at all. They are just trying to fight around point as best as they can, stay alive, build ults as fast as they can, wait for Amanda to come back in. Jodam does build up the barrage. She did come up big last time. Stardust does get booped off. Crystal Cath is the first kill on the side. Oh, and a nice bubble from Tripid keeps Jodam up to get 2 kills. And a big shatter from Amanda should be able to clean up the rest of the fight. Hotel Bones does pop the ult. Pesky does take out Amanda. Jodam goes down. Janos come in with the clutch, trying to take out Pesky on point. Aris does still have capture on this, so it will flip back to Cookie Bytes right now, but Demi's coming back in, can get in on Pesky, and it's 98 to 99, and there's very few members for both teams on the point. Crystal Cath pops the barrage, takes out Demi. Tripid coming back in, 70 to that grab, trying to build it as fast as she can. Amanda gets a nice pin onto Knife Cat, takes out Crystal Cath as well. Does go down for her trouble though. Tripid still only 75 to that ultimate. Genos does come with the McCree ult, doesn't get anything off of it. Stardust almost to that coalescence already, 96-97%. And she will pop it right now. Tripid does build the grab and gets Hotel Bones and Warren and Peace in it. Jodam taking them out to clean up, and this will be a one fight for the side of Aris. Just the trades just going in their favor, being able to take out the Cookie Bytes one by one and have a good presence on point. Crystal Cath, the last one to go down. Jodam with the last barrage to clean out the fight, and no one else on Cookie Bytes able to recontest.
A great combo by Tripid and Stardust, using that gravity bomb and the Moira ult to take out a large chunk of the team and then clean up afterwards. It definitely was a game changer. But what a great first round. We see both teams back and forth throughout the entire thing. 99% for, well, 99 to 100% for both teams. That's the type of match we're looking for, and that's kind of what we've come to expect in the Death Blossoms tournament so far.
Yeah, we saw some great play by Amanda and Jodam as well. When it was kind of a 2v2 situation, and they stayed alive just long enough for the rest of their team to come in and got some good picks as well. Here we are in Ruins, and we won't see any Widows this time actually, but we are seeing the dive come out from the side of Aris, so we'll see how they want to play around that. With Warren Peace just walking up to point, Amanda already on point, ready to start the dive, scouting out a little bit, sees Knife Cat, probably will go for Knife Cat from the back, goes straight for Knife Cat. Pesky's already down thanks to the damage Jodam's raining in from above, and both supports go down very quickly with a nice dive on the side of Aris. So this is a good fight for them. Both supports down on Cookie Bytes, and they're just cleaning up right now.
Yeah, a really great fight from Aris, and one thing that I was able to see from a different side point is while Cookie Bytes had the Pharah up in the air, Genos was doing a very good job of targeting that Pharah and making it difficult for them to really do that much damage to your team.
We see Aris take a little bit of an aggressive position, trying to keep the Cookie Bytes away from this choke point. And Jodam with a very quick barrage takes out Warren Peace just to shut down that fight quickly, off the back of only one ultimate as well. Knife Cat goes down, Hotel's Bones goes down, and now they're just getting kills to clean up and try to delay them as much as they can.
And this is something we'll commonly see, and as a smart move on Aris's part, because there is this small choke that they have to get through. There's a few side paths, but it's a lot less open than that center area pit, where you're at much more of a vulnerable position, being on the low ground.
We do see a little bit of a fight coming out. Majima Goro actually swapped onto the Widow, was on the Reaper for a short while, does take out Jodam, so doing their job very well. Stardust gets Jodam back up, Demi with a nice bomb onto Crystal Cath, and Genos taking out Warren Peace. So again, a good fight from Aris, just keeping their team alive long enough and pushing them off of point. Amanda and Demi will get Hotel Bones to clean it out.
I think it's definitely a smart choice by Cookie Bytes to switch over the Widow. This is a very strong Widow map, and as we saw, the Widow was looking to pick the Pharah and made a quick pick on her, and is able to do a lot of damage to Jodam.
On the side of Cookie Bites, we do see them swap onto the Winston, so maybe wanting to get a little bit more mobility, get into that back line. Tripid does pop the sound barrier first, so that will keep Aris nice and up for the moment. Pesky does have a sound barrier to respond with though. Genos does pop the ult, but the shields from Pesky do a lot of damage mitigation as well. Crystal Cath does have the Riptire, but might not need it with both tanks going down on the side of Aris. However, as I say that, a good trade's coming out from the side of Cookie Bites for the side of Aris. Crystal Cath does go down, and it's just the two supports on the side of Cookie Bites on the point now. Knife Cat does go down, Pesky goes down, and that will be a clean 100-0 for Aris on this point.
Yeah, that was a great round. They really made good use of the map. Like I said, the map is very straightforward, but they were able to push the enemy team up into that choke and keep them back from that area that a lot of people end up being very vulnerable in with that pit being there.
And we see here that great bomb that kind of broke open the first point for Aris to get some good capture.
And what an amazing environmental kill right at the very end of that. I got to see that from the perspective of Soldier, and I could just feel that drop as it took him out. Yeah, so that is Ilios, and Aris takes Ilios, and our next map will be Junkertown.
So we've been seeing a lot of Arisa already, so I'm kind of excited to see if they'll pull it again out on Junkertown, with the payload being so good for Arisa, those long sight lines for her shield, as well as the Bastion maybe we might see this time that we didn't get last time.
Yeah. I'm definitely much more familiar with the team Aris, and I know that they have a great Arisa on their side, so I'm hoping we're going to see more Arisa picks. We didn't really get to see that too much in the last game that we casted, so it's definitely changing up. Same maps we're going through, but completely different matches.
Mm-hmm. So here in Junkertown, a big part of the last match we saw was these quick adjustments to the enemy compositions. For example, we saw Monka S run that triple tank, and very quickly Belladonna's adapted to it with a lot more damage with the Junkrat and Reaper. So like we talked about earlier, these quick adjustments on Junkertown are going to be really key to capturing the points.
Yeah, and one thing I said in our earlier stream as well is Junkertown is actually one of my favorite maps, and the reason for that is because after each checkpoint you get to, the way that you attack each section of the map is different, and so it really adds a lot of versatility and requires a lot of flexibility to get through. On the previous match, we were expecting a lot of changes and switches to account for character compositions and for the map, and that's exactly what we saw, and I hope to see that again with these two teams.
So we're just about to enter the map. So we will see the side of Aris attacking first, and Cookie Bites will be defending. So so just setting up right now, we do see a triple tank solo support on the side of Aris for now. It's very possible with kind of what they were running last map as well, because for on Ilios Lighthouse, on Lighthouse, we saw Tripid flex onto the Zarya and get that grab pretty quickly too.
Yeah, definitely. They made good use of, switching when they needed to. It seemed as though the Arisa wasn't working out too well for them. It perhaps wasn't the most aggressive of picks. They switched over to Reinhardt, became much more aggressive, and did a very good job of maintaining that checkpoint and winning it over.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps this is what they're maybe trying to emulate on this map as well. With the more damage and more tanks, they can be a little bit more aggressive, but they just have to be very careful with that solo heal that they're running, that they have on right now.
Well, the Zarya right now has a lot of her team members that she can pair up with. She can pair up with Genos's Barrage, Jodom's, Dragon's Arrow, multiple things that they can use. Even the Reinhardt just hammering away and slashing. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of good ult combos from that side.
On the side of Cookie Bites, we do see the Ana coming out, as well as the Junkrat. So Junkrat should do a lot of work against this triple tank, as well as the Ana. If she can hit some good nades, that will deny a lot of healing on those large bodies. So we'll see how they want to take this engagement. So on the side of Aris, they're just kind of setting up on point, pushing up a little bit, waiting for Cart to reach it. Genos is coming from the top and does get a few good shots onto the back line, and Amanda finishes off with the Fire Strike. Tripid already demexed the enemy D.Va and Pesky. Genos getting the quick follow-up kill as well. And so Aris is just being able to push on here with their kills one by one. Majima Goro and Crystal Cath do push up, but Crystal Cath gets picked out by Genos. War and Peace getting very low from the Storm Arrow from Jodam. Amanda pushing up ahead of the shield to get very aggressive against their front line. Just goes straight in, swings on the Orisa, swings on the Mercy, and this is a great fight for Aris. One by one, they just get the kills.
Yeah, they did a great job of getting the picks, maintaining that point, and just pushing forward. We did see Cookie Bites. They held back into that choke, into that first choke, waiting for them to be able to attack them from there. But they just couldn't get any good picks, and Aris was able to get the picks on them.
Yep, and a big part of that was Genos' great angle against the Orisa. She just kind of flew up very high and was able to shoot behind the shield straight onto the backline with no trouble at all for her. Amanda does have the Earth Shatter, so we might see in a preliminary ult combo with a Shatter and one of the DPS ultimates. We'll see when Warren puts down the shield. Oh, does get taken out, but here comes the barrage like we talked about. Damage boosted, big damage onto the Mercy and onto the two supports and McCree, and once again the cleanup kills just coming in for Aris. The D.Va on the side of Cookie Bites just trying to run away as best as they can.
Exactly what we saw when we saw this composition. We expected some good combos from them, and that's exactly what we saw. The Reinhardt comes in with a huge shatter, and the Pharah with Genos is able to come in with her barrage and sweep it up.
Cookie Bites does have a large ult bank here, so they should have a good chance of recontesting this point. They don't want to take too aggressive of a position though. They just want to wait for the cart to push up a little bit, get around this bend so they can play around this corner a little bit. Some good damage coming out from the side of Cookie Bites though. Aris getting pretty low on a lot of their characters. They do pop the Grav. Grav Dragons comes in and Cookie Bites is wiped out. Majima Goro trying to run away, does get tripped, but will fall in the end to Amanda's Fire Strike, as well as Knife Cat going down.
Yeah. Once again, we see a great combination from Aris. And it seems with the heals that Cookie Bites has in place, they don't really have too much to defend against damage like that.
Here comes the Tire, takes out Jodam. So a good opening pick for the side of Cookie Bites. They do swap onto the Tracer to try and get in here as quick as possible. A bomb comes in from Demi, takes out two with Knife Cat and Crystal Cat. So a lot of damage and healing out of the fight. Hotel Bones back on the Roadhog trying to do their best. Amanda gets a good shatter onto two. Hotel Bones goes down, but the Lucio and Tracer are still up. Tracer takes out Amanda, but the Cookie Bites Ryan is also down. Knife Cat comes back in with the heals on the Mercy. Crystal Cat on the Soldier for that consistent damage. Demex to Maryland. Pesky comes in, but Genos with a big barrage. Not much that the enemy team can do about it, but besides hide from it. Pesky pushed off point by the Dragons and gets taken out by Amanda's Fire Strike. Majima Goro comes back in on the Tracer, does have the bomb, does not hit anyone. Might have been bubbled by Tripid actually. Just these one by one Cookie Bites is just coming in as best as they can. A Knife Cat flying up high in the sky. Stardust again with the Valkyrie. The solo healer is still alive throughout this entire fight. Cookie Bites does get a big shatter. A counter shatter comes from Amanda, but the follow-up just not there on both sides. a big brawl on point, and so the Maryland gets demexed. Another grab comes out. A sound barrier comes out. Hotel Bones goes down. Majima Goro gets tripped. War and Peace goes down to Amanda. It's a 3-on-5. It's a 2-on-5. Majima Goro goes down. It's a 1-on-5. Will they be able to clean Pesky before the rest of the team comes in? Pesky's doing very good at staying alive. Knife Cat flies in, but will be taken out, and that will be the first round.
It was definitely a great battle at the end between them, just very back and forth, trying to get each other off. The Lucio pick on the heels for Cookie Bytes, I feel like was the right decision. I'm not sure if they did it to help hold the payload, but as soon as we saw the Zarya grab come in, they weren't able to sweep up as clean as they did before because the Lucio was able to drop the beat and help defend against that.
Yep, it was a really nice stall coming out from the side of Cookie Bytes, just one in after the other, trying to get the trades where they could, but they really just shaved off a lot of that time, especially Pesky on that Lucio. He was being very pesky, to be honest, and so it was a great, it was just great stall from them. However, throughout the rest of the map, Aris just had way too much momentum with their ult combos to push through very quickly.
Yeah, even though we saw at points where Cookie Bytes had the ult advantage, Aris just made better use of their ults, comboing it. Having the Zarya to combo with the Hanzo and the Reinhardt to combo with the Pharah really did well for them.
Yep, just those big ultimate combos just coming out from Aris. Very good coordination on that, as well as choosing the correct characters. With instead of by playing the Reinhardt instead of the Orisa, they were able to get a little bit more aggressive on the attack.
Also, the great thing about Cookie Bytes holding that point as much as they did is the longer they hold that time, the less time that Aris will have available to them. So if they can get it to the third checkpoint as well with time, then both teams will go into a draw phase and they have a chance to win this map.
Yep. So we will see the Bastion coming out from Cookie Bytes to start out with, but it is getting scouted out by Jodam on the Hanzo. So they will be expecting this out of spawn. Genos again with a great angle just coming out, hitting the backline really well. War and Peace already pretty low from Genos' damage, and Jodam picks off the rest of Hotel Bone. Demi and Tripid along with Amanda getting very aggressive with that Brigitte to just push them back off the point, and Aris not even letting them set up.
Yeah, I think that was a smart move for them to make once they realized Bastion was coming out. With Bastion, you really don't want to give the enemy time to set up. And they used the Pharah Genos in that great position up close, which would normally be risky. It helped to damage that Bastion and damage that backline while the rest of the team pushed forward to get up and close and personal and take them out.
Yep, exactly like you said, that aggressive positioning was great to prevent them from setting up. But Genos does get picked out by the Widow by Majima Goro. Jodam does take out Pesky, but that will just be rezzed up. Demi just bullying War and Peace on the front line a little bit. But the side of Aris is down, still down there, Hanzo. Sorry, their Pharah. The Hanzo goes down now, and Demi also goes down on the Brigitte. Amanda is hiding with the Shatter, but will not be able to use it with the rest of her team down. Stardust and Genos just trying to run away as best as they can, maybe get a recontest, but Majima Goro with a great headshot onto Stardust as she was running out. So Aris might not be able to recontest, especially with Stardust being their solo support.
Yeah, great push by Cookie Bytes there. We saw them take out the Pharah, which was definitely causing them a lot of damage, and the Reinhardt, War and Peace did a great job of holding that corner.
Aris does come back in. They tried to go in with the Dragon Strike, and Amanda tried to go for a big Shatter, but it was blocked out by War and Peace, and Crystal Cath on the Pharah was able to clean up a lot of kills with that barrage as well. Stardust going down pretty late as well, so Cookie Bytes should get a good amount of free push through second point before Stardust can regroup with her team.
Yeah, we also see Majima Goro switch over to the Widow, which is kind of what we're talking about before, making changes to adjust for the map. Widow's going to be a strong pick coming up in this next map. A lot of people like to stay up top, and she'll be able to shoot over there if she can get through the shields. We actually see a Widow from both sides.
Yeah, exactly. We see Widow from Jodam come out actually, and Genos on the soldiers. So they're the Pharah on the side of Cookie Bites is actually giving them problems now. A big shatter from War and Peace gets the Mercy and 2 tanks down, but the Stardust does stay alive, does pop the Valk and should be able to keep the team alive for now. Tripit does take out War and Peace, and Stardust gets Amanda up as well. So a great ult usage from the side of Aris to keep them alive in this fight.
Yep. Stardust is doing a great job avoiding the enemy, is keeping up alive, which is very important with the single heal. If the single heal's taken out, then Cookie Bites has a lot more momentum to be able to push ahead.
Here comes a bomb grab, but does not hit. Amanda goes in very low, but is getting healed up by Stardust. Does get taken out by Crystal Cat, so there is no shield on the side of Aris. Cookie Bites does have the grab with Hotel Bones. Maybe Demi will be able to eat it, but Hotel Bones is being very careful with Demi. Demi does get demech, so it's a free grab now. Goes for the grab, gets 3. Demi, Tripid, and Genos, and the combo with the barrage a little late because the kills came in just too quick.
Now we see it actually looks like Cookie Bites is kind of playing a similar strategy. They now have Zarya out there. Hopefully maybe going to bring in some combos with the Zarya and Pharah ult and take after what we've been seeing from Aris.
Aris is trying to get a forward position on this defense. A little bit spread out right now, but Amanda doing a good job of not taking too much damage on the front lines. Just some poke coming in from both sides. Stardust does pop the Valk, sees her team getting a little bit low, trying to keep them up as best as they can. Majima Goro wins out the Pharah duel, the Widow duel, excuse me, and so that's one threat that Cookie Bites doesn't have to worry about. Genos does pop the tactical visor, but the sound barrier in response, but a big shatter from Amanda, and the cleanup is there. Tripid getting Hotel Bones down. War and Peace going very low. Knife Cat goes in for the res, does get it off. Hotel Bones back up, but Tripid does go for the ultimate. War and Peace does go for the shatter, but Knife Cat goes down. War and Peace goes down. Stardust with the triple kill, and this will be a one fight on the side of Aris.
Yeah, we did see quite a lot of ults from Aris' side to win over that fight. They still have ults coming up for Reinhardt and Mercy, but it is possible that this could put the Cookie Bites in an ult advantage.
So both teams pretty far from a lot of their ults, since, like you said, they used a lot of them during that fight. So this will be a little bit of a dry push, just to see who kind of forces the mistake first. Amanda does come up on the Earth Shatter, and Crystal Cat with that barrage. So we'll see what they can do with these ultimates. Not a lot coming out. Demi does throw the bomb in. Oh, and a nice combo again with that nice synergy between Amanda and Demi to get that bomb shatter combo. Knife Cat does go down, so Cookie Bites will be pulling out, and Pesky does DC, so we will have to pause.
Yeah, but what a great, exactly as you said, as soon as that bomb came up, the Reinhardt turned to face it, had shield up, was ready to protect his team, and then comes in the Reinhardt taking him out of the equation by knocking him out, knocking him down.
Yeah, that was another great combo from the side of Aris. They really know how to combo, how to save ults for one another, and also when the plays actually happen, they're able to make these combos happen.
Exactly. Now, if we see Cookie Bites push it over to the end, we're going to see this go into overtime, which should be pretty fun to see if that happens.
Yep. On the side of Cookie Bites as well, we also see their Zarya building up to Grav and the Barrage ready. So perhaps that might be the next combo we can see from them, and perhaps that will help them push a lot further into this third point and maybe even to the end.
Yeah, we do see Team Aris a little bit farther away from the ults, but that hasn't seemed to stop them so far. They're doing a really great job of building those ults and, again, using them when needed. And I definitely, I can't wait for to see that Zarya ult paired up with one of their teammates.
Hmm. And Stardust is doing a really great job on this solo heals. Not a lot of teammates are getting very low, and she's also staying alive for very long, which is extremely key, like you said, with this solo support.
Yeah, she's being very aggressive with her ult, but that's exactly how she wants to play it as a single Mercy healer. She's able to heal more with that as they're pushing. She's able to provide that protection, and it also makes her more defensible because she's harder to kill when she's in the air.
And also with that single solo support, she's building these Valks very quickly. So it is a good idea to kind of use these Valks aggressively because she is able to build these up fairly quickly by being the only healer.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what we have next. The combos have been on point all this map, um, and we'll definitely see where it goes. And also, just as a reminder, Aris did win the last map, which was on Ilios. So it is currently 1-0 with Cookie Bytes at 0 and Aris at 1. Also, this tournament is brought by the Death Blossoms clan, gaming clan. It's an all-girls gaming clan. Definitely check out our information on it. There should be a bot in the stream that will send over information on what it is. So if you are not affiliated with Death Blossoms and it's something you'd like to look into, definitely check that out.
Yeah, I have to say, even not being a part of the community directly, being involved with these Death Blossom events and being able to meet all you guys is such a great experience, and everyone's super friendly, and we get great opportunities like this to cast games and have fun with friends. So it's a great organization to check out.
Yeah, and definitely, and we like meeting people like you, and there's a lot of events that we organize, and getting to be able to cast like this and have these tournaments really opens up a lot of opportunities to not only the Death Blossoms community, but the Overwatch community as a whole.
Definitely. So Pesky should be coming back shortly. A few updates coming up in the match chat, so hopefully we shouldn't be waiting too much longer here.
I know people are starting to miss Pesky. Also, a little bit about Team Aris. They are part of the Death Blossoms clan. They've also recently had a blog posted about them where they talk a little bit about Team Aris. So if you're interested in the team, definitely go check it out. It's on our Death Blossoms website, deathblossoms.gg. Yeah, we may have an error coming up on the stream. I don't know if anyone can hear what we're saying right now, but I'm going to see if I can figure it out. It may just be on my version of it. So if you see a decoding error in the chat, just let me know, or if you don't, let me know, because then it might just be my Twitch that's acting up.
Aw, isn't that sweet?
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's not just me. There's something going on there. Let me see what I can do to figure it out. Probably the best time for any sort of errors like this to happen, since Pesky is still trying to reconnect. So let me check a few things here and see if I can get us out of this error.
I think it's fixed now, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let me see what chat's saying.
Alright, yeah, it looks like we're back. I just saw it.
Okay.
It looks like the stream couldn't handle Pesky being gone. It decided to rage quit for a second, but thank you all for coming back to us. Yeah, anyone else who's still getting it, as Unsampled said, just refresh your page. It should fix the issue. So what are you expecting next from this team? I know you mentioned the Zarya and the Pharah ult. I still see Widowmaker being held by both teams. I don't know if Widowmaker on attack is good here, because it's a little bit harder to set up where to be on attack, because you have that one area in the top, but you don't have as much vision on the battlefield.
Yep, I definitely agree. The attacking Widow has a harder time to kind of get those sight lines coming in. So Jodam with his defensive positioning is able to just rotate freely and get these a wide different array of sight lines.
Yeah.
I'd like to maybe see a swap come in from Majimagoro. Maybe I saw them on the Reaper on a previous map. Maybe back onto the Reaper to kind of melt down these tanks a little bit more. But
Yeah, because we do see the 3-tank strategy coming from Aris, so having a Reaper and they're having some major damage to dish out would really help in bringing them down. And we do see Genos has actually switched off the Pharah over to Soldier, so the Widow is less needed, because a lot of times Widow is picked to help pick off that Pharah, but that is no longer something to worry about on Team Aris.
yep.
We've also been seeing this 3-tank meta quite a bit. We saw these in our last matches previously, and we're seeing it again now with Team Aris. Why do you think people gravitate to this 3-tank meta right now?
So I think actually a lot of it is because of how difficult it can be to play support nowadays. So normally so on the side of Aris here, we normally see a Zenyatta in the place of one of the tanks, but it's just a lot harder to play Zenyatta against kind of these double snipers that we've been seeing a lot with Hanzo coming back into like Vogue, as well as Widow, and also the Zenyatta ultimate doesn't does help with Grav, but before this previous patch we saw a lot of Dragon Gravs kind of going through the Transcendence. So I think a lot of this actually has to do with the difficulty of playing other supports in today's meta.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. As we've all seen recently, the sniper meta has come back with Brigitte coming into the meta, or coming into the game, and so a lot of that half the team going tank is probably a large part into the sniper being part of the meta, because it's a little bit harder for you to take out 3 tanks. You're looking more for those squishies when you're playing the sniper. But I do know that the 3-tank meta, as far as defense goes, it's very difficult to break. So it requires a lot of coordination by the attacking team to break through that and push on ahead.
So I think we're almost ready. There's a lot. Yep, there we go.
There we go. We got Pesky back. Thank you all that are in the stream for bearing with us while there was that technical issue with Pesky. She is back, so we'll hopefully be started soon and get to see some good plays from her. Or from Pesky.
And here we go. So as we just saw, Aris was just cleaning up that last fight, pushing out the rest of Cookie Bytes. Jodam does pop the Infrasight, so a lot of information coming in for the side of Aris, knowing exactly where the enemy team is going to be positioned, where they're walking in from.
Fortunately, losing Pesky wasn't too hard on them because they were all able to start back out at the point, but Pesky did lose any ult charge that they may have had.
Again, Jodam takes out Crystal Cath with a nice headshot. Like we said, this is the defensive Widow just has these great sight lines. Takes out Knife Cat as well. Jodam doing very well on this Widow. War and Peace goes straight in, but is taken out by Tripid. And so this is with their Mercy down as well as their main tank down. This will be another lost fight for the side of Cookie Bytes.
And we actually see Jodam take out 2 with her Venom. That's a rare pick, a rare double kill to see 2 die from the Venom.
And Jodam again already has the Infrasight, so once again they'll know exactly where Cookie Bytes is engaging from.
Yeah. And part of that is her putting her Venom at very key choke points, getting that extra damage from that to be able to charge up her ults very early on.
So Aris again being very aggressive with this hold, not letting them through these small choke points. Tripid does get charged, but that leaves the rest of the team at vulnerable. And again, another combo with Amanda and Demi with the shatter into the bomb.
Yeah, they're definitely making a good use of the sites. That's not something you always see from teams, but they know where they're going to attack. They know where they're going to come in. They have a plan of attack on how to deal with them, and they use their ults very well.
Oh, a nice shatter comes out from War and Peace. And then, and Demi eats the grab coming out from Hotel Bone, so there won't be any grab on the side of Cookie Bites. Amanda takes out War and Peace, so they have no main tank, but Crystal Cath gets a nice pick onto Genos. Amanda goes down, Tripid takes out Crystal Cath, who was ulting. Demi does go down, the ultimate comes out from Majima Goro, and it takes out Jodam. So, Cookie Bites should get a little bit of push onto the end of the map.
That was a great push by Cookie Bites. They split up their team on which ways they attacked, which was very smart because they knew that Zarya had the ult. The Zarya was only able to block off one of the team, and the rest of the team was able to get there to be able to hold the point.
Now we see Aris back in full force, ready to fight. Jodam goes on to the Mei for some stall tactics as well. War and Peace does get walled off. Amanda goes for the charge, but misses and gets taken out by Pesky. War and Peace is in very deep. It's getting frozen by Jodam in the back, but the tanks on the side of Aris are just going down on point. Stardust does pop the Valk, but not enough. Another grab comes out from Hotel Bones. This time it does connect. Jodam just trying to stay alive, freezing them on point as best as she can. Genos does go down. Jodam was off point, walls up, but has to run onto point as well. Doesn't get the stall that she wanted. A big shatter coming from Amanda does take out Knife Cat, though they're Mercy, but they do have Pesky, and Pesky comes in with the clutch sound barrier to keep them all up. Again, it's a big brawl on last point. Majima Goro pops the ultimate. Aris pushed off point a little bit. Demi gets demeched. Demi gets taken. Tripid's still alive. Jodam comes back in with the stall. Another Genos ult from Genos, but does get taken out by Hotel Bones. Amanda connects with the charge. Amanda very low from Hotel Bones. Jodam still on point, very high health. Almost has that ultimate, but does not get it off. Stardust comes back in. Crystal Cath does get the ultimate off, and they will push it to the end of the map.
A very, very good contest by Cookie Bites, being able to hold back Aris as they came in with very good heroes that are very good at sustaining and holding that point for a long time, drawing that out for their team to get to. They managed to take them out and push that to the point. A very good job by them. They will now have 1 minute to be able to contest in overtime, and Aris, since they had 3 minutes before, will have 4 minutes as they get a minute added to their time. So Aris is definitely coming into this next set with a higher advantage because they had a better time than Cookie Bites.
And then, like we talked about earlier, that last push was really off the back of that great engagement, splitting up to kind of counter that grab. And then their ultimate usage was very good, one after the other, not too investing just enough at the right times to get that push through.
We did see a much better use of their ults from Cookie Bites. Even at one point, they used a Diva ult. It didn't really kill anyone, but it zoned them and put them in a position for the Reinhardt to be able to take them out. So very good use of ults by Cookie Bites on that last push.
So on both sides, we'll actually be seeing triple tank. And this time we have the solo DPS on the side of Aris with Jodam on the Widow. Jodam was doing a very good job on that Widowmaker, but I feel like it will be a little awkward against this triple tank from Cookie Bites since they don't get one shot by the Widow as easily.
And Cookie Bites looks like they're going for more of a sustained type comp, which is very smart with that 1 minute. They're hoping to push into overtime and keep the cart moving as long as they can.
Yep, it worked for them very well on the last point, but Jodam takes out Crystal Cath pretty early. A nice res comes out from Knife Cat, very safe, very easy to pull off. Amanda does go in for the charge, does connect, getting very aggressive. Amanda going down pretty low. Jodam going down in the back. Amanda does shatter with a very low health, and the follow-up is there from the team of Aris. Amanda with a nice shatter there, but Cookie Bites with the short respawn, they might be able to come in for another fight. And here they come. Petsky speed boosting through. Hotel Bones touches the cart just in time. Gets taken out by Tripid very quickly though. War and Peace does get a nice charge onto Tripid though. Amanda just swinging on point, trying to do as much damage as possible. Stardust brings back Tripid up. Genos with the quick transcendence. Knife Cat with the ultimate coming out. Crystal Cat gets picked out by Jodam once more. And a big shatter from War and Peace. Stardust goes down. And a counter shatter from Amanda. But the follow-up isn't there this time. Tripit does get the grab though. And Knife Cat does go down. Hotel Bones and Pesky, the only ones on point against Amanda and Demi. Does have the sound barrier, does pop it. Keeps Hotel's Bones alive through that ultimate. And Crystal Cat does pop the barrage, takes out Demi. Demi's all alone on point, will be taken out, and Cookie Bytes will get a little bit more of a push.
What a clutch res by the Mercy there, resing the Lucio to help hold that point, because the Lucio is going to be one of the better heroes to hold that point for a long time. I'm not sure if it was intentional because there was a lot of deaths around her, but a very good choice if it was to pick Lucio.
And here on the side of Cookie Bytes, they actually have the grab, so a big play could come out here. They do pop the grab, but the shatter comes out at the same time, so not a lot of follow-up. The bomb comes out, it stalls on the cart, but does not go far enough to get anyone. Jodam takes out Knife Cat in the back, which is a big pick on the side of Aris. Aris is getting a little low, but Jodam coming in with 2 kills, giving the numbers advantage to the side of Aris. Cookie Bytes struggling to keep up. Pesky almost at that sound barrier. Sound barrier does get popped, keeps up the rest of the team on cart alive. No ults to come out. Majima Goro takes out Genos. Genos getting a little close to that Transcendence as well. Another big shatter from Amanda, just getting these clutch shatters right at the right moments. And again, the damage is there to follow up, and it is a 3v3. And War and Peace and Crystal Cat coming in clutch. Once again, only Demi and Tripid on point. Pesky and War and Peace. Demi does pop the ultimate, but the Rhine Shield is there. Hotel Bones doesn't get behind it though, gets taken down. Jodam does take out War and Peace. Pesky just on point. Will that Pesky be pesky enough to keep this alive? I don't know. Majima Goro and Knife Cat coming back in. Majima Goro does ult, keeps Aris off point. Demi does get demeched. Knife Cat is in the back, keeping up Majima Goro and Pesky as much as they can, but Jodam does take out Knife Cat. Crystal Cat does take out Stardust, but the team, Cookie Bytes, just can't make it back onto.
What an amazing fight between both teams. One thing I have to hand to both teams on both sides, we saw great shatters, great use of that. Took advantage of it every time. At one point used it as a safety when they got grabbed. Very good plays by both teams. And now we just got to see how far Aris can push it. They just have to push it further than Cookie Bytes did to win this round, or win this match.
Yeah, that was a great push from Cookie Bytes, especially when they only had about 10 seconds left and were able to push it a little bit farther, closer to the first point. However, this will be a big order to ask for them to keep a full hold on Aris, especially with that first push we saw from them in the first round.
And it looks like Aris might actually be coming out with the Bastion, a very strong strat to be able to get to that further area, especially if Cookie Bytes is not expecting it.
Yeah, it looks like the side of Aris is going for all-out aggression with the Discord.
Actually, we
from
might see
Genos.
double Bastion here.
Oh wow! So it might be a battle of the Bastions. But the side of Aris does have more shielding with Tripid on the Arisa this time. So we'll see who comes out on top in
It
this
does
shield
look
war.
like Cookie Bytes is taking a little bit longer to get set up. Will that hurt them? We'll only be able to tell once we get started.
Genos swapped onto the Lucio to help Stardust get set up very quickly on point. And now Cookie Bytes is a little bit on the back foot, but not ready for this Bastion. War and Peace does go down very quickly. Knife Cat goes for the res, but no protection for her. So this will be cleanup for the side of Aris. The side of Cookie Bytes is trying to delay point as best as they can. Maybe get one more fight in, but right now it's just Majima Goro on the Bastion on the corner, just trying to reposition. Maybe the rest of the team will be able to come in. Majima Goro does go in, but Stardust already with the ult. Genos takes out Majima Goro. Stardust pushes up very aggressively with the ult, trying to finish off Cookie Bytes, and that will be the map.
Yeah, it definitely seems that Cookie Bytes took a little bit too long to set up there. There might have been some indecision at first with what sort of comps that they should take against Aris. And I think it really hurt them in the beginning because they weren't quite ready for dealing with Aris's comp. Especially with Bastion being on attack, you have to be quick and fast in your response to it.
Yep, they didn't really have a great chance to deny setup or melt the shield down well, especially with Genos making that audible play to swap onto the onto the Lucio very quickly to help them set up on point and straight back into spawn to swap onto the Zenyatta.
One interesting thing that we got to see too is Rain Monkey was previously in the round and in the previous matches, their Mercy healer, very much main heal, all of a sudden switches to Bastion, a very much different role, but she handled it. She got her ult very quickly. She took out what she needed to take out, and she used her ult to deny the Cookie Bytes from coming to the payload.
Yeah, that was some really great Bastion play, especially from their Mercy player who was playing solo heals for so long.
Yeah, people sometimes don't give Bastion plays enough credit because there is kind of a mentality point and click there, but I thought she did a really good job playing Bastion. We did get to see that Bastion on Bastion battle. Unfortunately, it didn't play out for Cookie Bytes in the way that they wanted.
So now we will be heading over to Hanamura. So it'll be exciting to see what we see on Hanamura. We did see some Hanzo on the last map, so maybe we'll see some Hanzo on Hanamura. Cookie Bytes will be defending first once again, so we'll see how Aris takes this attack.
Yeah, definitely. And like we were saying in the last one, this really all comes down to, at least from what we've seen in the past with Hanamura, is making decisive pushes in getting onto that first checkpoint. At least for that first checkpoint, it's all about getting to it.
Tonight we saw the first Brigitte play out from Demi on the side of Aris. Maybe we might see that coming out from them again, but right now we see them on a very typical dive for now. On the side of Cookie Bytes, though, we do see a Mei kind of peeking its head right now. Mei did get buffed in the patch yesterday with the no damage fall off on her icicles now, so a lot stronger right click. So maybe that's why they are looking at to play this Mei.
Oh, and we see another disconnect from Cookie Bytes. That's going to be unfortunate because they might not have as much time to set up for defense. We might actually see a restart of this map just to give them time to set up since the map hasn't actually started yet. We'll stay tuned though. Eli here has access to the chat. I'm currently hiding it so that we don't see too much of the going-ons, but we'll be able to stay in the know.
Yep, so they're just working on it. So maybe while we're waiting, we can talk about Junkertown a little bit more. So we saw kind of two defenses in response to the Bastion, with the side of Aris being that hyper-aggressive on-point defense, while Cookie Bytes went for the counter Bastion. It did work out better for Aris with that hyper-aggression. Why do you think so?
Well, so it's a little bit hard to say if that's the reason why they benefited so much more, because it did take Cookie Bytes. Cookie Bytes Bastion wasn't there when the match started. They weren't set up. If they were set up, that might have been a different story. They could have taken down the Orisa shield, taken down the Bastion. But personally, I think an upfront approach is probably best. If you get on that Bastion, especially with a huge amount of units, it's hard for the Bastion to be able to take everything down. And with everyone doing enough damage on it, you're going to take out the Bastion before you can take out a group that is grouped up together, making a forceful attack on it.
Okay, so this time it was a lot quicker. Crystal Cath gets right back in the game, and we are ready. So they will have another minute to prepare their defenses, so that's good. And they are sticking with this Mei for a little bit. So again, Mei, very good on this map. Like we talked about earlier in the earlier cast, this choke point is the first choke point onto first point is pretty difficult to get onto if you're not quick about it. So the Mei could deny a lot of this movement through that choke point and split the team up into very compromising positions.
Definitely, the May is very much meant to split up the team, and the rest of the team is meant to punish them while they're split up. It's very hard as well for the attacking team to come in on the point, make a forceful push through that choke. There is only really one choke unless they go up to the top right, and May does a good job of blocking off that choke.
So we are seeing the dive come out from Aris this time. Last time we saw this was on Ilios, and so they will go around the right side with their whole team. They are playing Lucio this time, possibly to get through that choke a little bit faster like we talked about. They're actually going to rotate all the way to the left side and go through this little doorway. Amanda does miss the jump, so it doesn't go as planned. So now they are just playing around the choke point. Amanda dives in, doesn't really find anyone, but the whole team's with her, so they have a very safe position. And they push the enemy team back onto point, which is a very good position for them. Amanda looking for the dive from the side, goes on the Mercy, trying to get knife cap. War and Peace just doing as much as they can to keep Amanda off their backline, to swing as much. And Amanda does get taken out by Hotel Bones. Crystal Cath just trying to freeze anyone, trying to get out, trying to get a stagger kill. Tripit does go down to Majima Goro, and Demi and Stardust will run away and regroup.
Yeah, we saw a great attack from Aris on how they planned on taking that. They didn't quite hit the top ground as much as they wanted to, but then they're able to come back around to the top, decide when they want to go in, and they have a Widowmaker in the back putting pressure on the team while the dive goes forward. They just couldn't quite make it on the actual push of the checkpoint, but we'll see what they do this time.
Aris does actually swap off. They do go back onto that triple tank that we saw last map. With no Lucio this time, and Tripid again on the Zarya. Hotel Bones getting up to a quick first grab. Crystal Cath actually builds up the Blizzard. They might want to let the side of Aris push onto point and Blizzard point. We'll see what happens. Amanda does get frozen. A few right clicks coming in, but Amanda gets the charge onto Crystal Cath, so no Blizzard coming in. Knife Cat does get the res up. And here comes the Blizzard. Will they trap anyone? No, but it does split off the team. Stardust was stuck in the room with Majima Goro. Amanda, Genos, and Tripid still on point. Genos does get taken out. Tripid takes out War and Peace. Jodam and Tripid take out Knife Cat, but Crystal Cath able to take out Tripid, and will probably and currently trying to get Amanda off point. Demi comes back in. Does take out Majima Goro, who is very low. Crystal Cath just doing as much as they can with their right clicks and freeze, just trying to stall point as long as they can, which is what May does very well. Pesky is there to provide some support. Genos does pop the ult and does take Crystal Cath, just waiting for her to pop out of that cryo freeze. Amanda does come in with the charge, gets War and Peace, takes War and Peace down. Hotel Bones goes down, and Aris will be able to clean that up with the longer respawns to thank on the side of Cookie Bytes.
An amazing fight by both teams. Like you said, we see Cookie Bytes. While the May ult didn't grab anyone, it did a very good job of splitting up the team. They were able to take out a lot of the Aris. Aris did have two more, which they were able to take out, just not as quickly as they needed to. And Aris was able to get back and capture that point. Aris does have a little bit of a closer checkpoint to that first point than Cookie Bytes did, and they were just able to get more of their people back in the fight quicker. Okay, and we see another pause coming through. I'm not sure why this time. Eli, do you have any update on that?
It actually happened for both teams. So I actually got it too when you were talking right now, but Discord, everyone was like very.
I may have lost Eli on the Discord. It sounds like Discord maybe.
Discord-wide problem.
Discord-wide problem.
But now, okay.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's some communication issues between the team. So they're looking at fixing Discord to be able to see if they can fix that. As many of y'all know, when dealing with team battles, communication is super important. So not being able to have that consistently can really change the flow of the battle. But thank you all for bearing with us. We've had quite a bit of technical issues tonight. Sort of Murphy's Law. You start up a game, you're going to cast it.
Shortly.
Okay. Yeah, Eli, I'm losing you every now and then, so you're kind of going in and out a little bit.
Okay.
But I hear you now, though.
I think we might have the problem.
I think we do. Okay, it looks like they started back up. I don't know if the problem's been fixed or not. I do hear you now, though, Eli.
Does take out Jodam. Aris is still... Demi comes in with one and does go down well. So that's side of... the side...
Alright, Eli, sorry to interrupt. It's going in and out. I just want to make sure that we get as much coverage as possible. I don't know if we need to reconnect. Amanda is the last one in there. The Widowmaker is taking pop shots at her. The team is looking to take her out, perhaps provide a stagger, and they're able to knock out Amanda. We have Genos on Farah firing from up above. Looks like she's just trying to get some damage in, maybe trying to get that ult up, but is ultimately waiting for her team. And we're paused again, most likely due to the connection issues that we're hearing. Eli, I don't know if you can hear me, but it might be best for us to reconnect just to see if that will fix things.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll go ahead and do that. Yep.
Okay. I will as well. Okay, Eli, do you want to try saying a few things, see if we can hear you okay? Okay, Eli, it sounds like I'm not hearing you.
Same here.
Okay, let's see. Is there any update, or is there anything online from Discord? Because it does sound like it's a Discord-wide problem. What may end up needing to happen, and really this is up to the teams, they might have to just join in a separate chat. Eli, we might want to try to do the same thing. Maybe I can call you directly. Maybe that might work better. Or we can just try a different chat service and see if that works.
Maybe we can do it through game chat. I'm gonna invite you to a group, and then maybe we can do it through group chat.
Okay, it's having me leave the game, so hopefully I will still be a spectator. Alright, I'm gonna have to change my settings.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I'm just gonna turn off my push to talk.
Of course.
Okay, perfect. And you can hear me just fine.
Yep.
Look at that. Problem solved by using Overwatch. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the two teams. You know, we did see that push going in. And it looks like they're actually starting back up, so maybe they did the same thing and are using the Overwatch chat. It does look like Aris might come in with an ult advantage, but only slightly. And one of those are Widowmaker, so they're pretty even on their ult advantage. Pretty ult economy between the two of them. The Farah, she was taking pot shots at Cookie Bytes earlier. I'm pretty sure she's looking to get her ult and hopefully pair it up with the Zarya.
Yep, exactly. Tripit does have that graviton, and Genos is very quick to build this barrage. So I think that's what they're trying to go for. Amanda pushing onto point, get a little aggressive positioning. The Blizzard does come out, but the kills are coming out on the side of Aris. Tripit does get charged by War and Peace, but the kills on point are all in favor of Aris, and Hotel Bones and War and Peace are a little bit stuck off point for the time being. Knife Cat does pop the Valkyrie, War and Peace getting very low on point, but it looks like Aris is a little scattered as well. A big shatter coming out from War and Peace, but he does go down. Jodam taken out by Majima Goro. The late barrage coming out from Genos, and a few more kills coming out from Cookie Bytes. So the team fight will be won by Cookie Bytes, it looks like. As I say that, Aris is still fighting for 4v4. A nice pick off onto Hotel Bones. Pesky goes down as well. Demi gets back in mech. Another big shatter from Amanda might turn back the fight. Knife Cat goes in for the res, can't do anything. Pesky quickly taken out, and Aris is grinding out this fight very well. A nice bomb coming out from Demi to zone them off and takes out Hotel Bones. Can't point. Majima Goro charges in on Diva. War and Peace doesn't have another shatter, just has to fight on point as best as they can. Crystal Cast back on the May, trying to stall out point as best as they can. Knife Cat in the back healing them up. Jodam does take out Knife Cat. Another May ult, but not enough follow-up. Hotel Bones is still alive, takes out Genos, trying to melt down Tripid, but Amanda, another big charge, goes in, and they just need to clean up Majima Goro. War and Peace coming back in, still not with the shatter. Amanda with another shatter. We might see that come out to clean up the point once more. And the kills are all coming in red. Right now it's just a stall on the side of Cookie Bytes. Hotel Bones once again back in. Pesky shattered. Hotel Bones just trying to stay alive. Does get Stardust, but will be cleaned up, and finally the point goes to Aris.
A great fight between Aris. At first we were seeing a little bit of a contest back and forth between them. Aris just wasn't getting those picks as fast as they wanted, and then they come out with a huge shatter, managed to get quite a few picks, and the Reinhardt just keeps swinging that hammer, takes out the Mercy, and it really changes the momentum of that battle. And then we see Cookie Bytes trying to come back from that by bringing their people out, but they're just not able to hold it that long. They are able to push the time down to 46 seconds though.
Yep. In this match, we've been seeing a lot of really good stalls on both sides. Yeah. That one was not an exception at all. Again, another great stall, down to 46 seconds for Aris on extra round.
Yeah, and we also saw Jodam as Widow off in the back on that overhang area, that back area to the entrance, just sniping on the enemy team as they come into the point. And there's not much they can answer for it because they have to hold that point and they can't take care of that Widow. And she's able to attack freely.
Exactly. We will see the Brigitte come out from Demi once again on the side of Aris, but we might see another Brigitte coming from Crystal Cath from Cookie Bytes. Right now they're looking at a triple support with the Brig Lucio Mercy and the solo DPS on the Anzo, perhaps to try to build grab very quickly and get that combo, and just kind of brawl on the point.
And they'll definitely be able to hopefully sustain their way through with all their healing, as long as Aris isn't able to cut them off. And they do have Pesky's ult that will help them against any sort of combos, which they've been seeing a lot from, and we should expect to see that since we see both Azaria, Afera, and Jode and the Hanzo in there as well. As well as the Reinhardt, as we've seen combos with the Reinhardt as well.
So we see Amanda in this room going for a sneaky charge, and does get it off on War and Peace. So that's gonna be a quick shutdown for their for Cookie Bytes' first push. Crystal Cath does push in, builds a little bit of charge for Hotel Bones, but not much else to be done there. Just waiting for their Rhine.
Yeah, Amanda's able to get her ult. Amanda's able to get our ult up really well, possibly due to that early charge and just holding that point really well. We can see her, she's at 61%. She's already almost to ult, or halfway there.
And talking about quick ults, Jodam already built up her first Dragon Strike, so we might see that coming out. We see it coming out right now. And the team of Aris trying to get in a little aggressive off of that, but Cookie Bytes doing a very good job at backing off, just letting it zone itself out. Amanda does charge in and is in the middle of the team, but gets quickly back to her team to heal back up. Crystal Cath does go down. Hotel Bones is very close to their first grab. Nothing to combo with it quite yet. Um, and Pesky does go down. So Aris getting the trades here. Hotel Bones getting very aggressive does have the grab ready, but again, nothing to combo with at the moment. Genos pops the ultimate. Majima takes her out very quickly, but that's just going to be a regroup on the side of Aris, with Demi rallying them up to get that extra armor.
We saw the Reinhardt get a little bit aggressive, push very far into the team, and as soon as that happened, we see Stardust on Mercy, answer with Valkyrie, keeping her Reinhardt up, making sure that the Reinhardt stays up to hold that point, or to hold that choke.
So we see Hotel Bones did build a very quick grab, but there's not much to combo with on the side of Cookie Bytes. War and Peace does go very deep, but Majima gets Stardust actually. A big grab comes out from Tripid, but the sound barrier in response to keep them all up. It's just Knife Cat and Pesky on point right now with their Crystal Cath on the breach. It's just the two supports against all the tanks and DPS of Aris, and they will be taken out pretty late in the...
We see pretty even ult matchup right now between the two teams. We have seen Hotel Bones with that Zarya ult for quite a while. As you mentioned, there's just not very much for her to pair it up with. Perhaps they'll try using the ult with Reinhardt's hammer and hopefully be able to do some damage to Aris to get through.
Yep. On the side of Aris, they don't have a defensive ult like Transcendence or Sound Barrier, so it's possible that they could combo the grab with just some heavy damage, but they'll need a lot of it to make sure they follow it up. Here we see Cookie Bytes just trying to come in. War and Peace getting a little aggressive with that bubble, but a nice bash shatter between, again, Amanda and Demi. Just that synergy just doing so well for them, and Hotel Bones throws out the grab very late. Nothing to follow up, and now they don't have it for next fight.
Yeah, we saw the Hanzo ult come out, and then the Zarya ult come out, and it just narrowed everyone into an area where they couldn't really take advantage. A lot of the team was coming down. It was a little bit late, which unfortunately they weren't able to make good use of it.
Pesky coming up to another sound barrier. Perhaps they might want to engage with this, just push through the point with all those shields. Here comes the tank line of Cookie Bytes. Knife Cat does get taken out by Jonim, so that's one of their large healers out of the fight already. Pesky does have the ult, but does not pop it. The fight is Cookie Bytes already down to 2 members on point, and now it's just Pesky alone, stuck in the grab. Genos pops the barrage, and Cookie Bytes will not be able to recontest. So that will be a 2-0 for the side of Aris.
And throughout that match, if you looked at the health bars, Aris was just doing so much damage to Cookie Bytes. It was hard for them to initiate in because they just didn't have the health that they needed to be able to make a confident push. Very good on Aris's part, keeping them pushed back, putting that pressure and that damage on them, and making good use again of their ults. And here we get to see that Reinhardt play that really did change the momentum of that last checkpoint and resulted in Aris getting to that second point.
So once again, another great match. Really exciting, very back and forth. Great play from both sides. A lot of different things to highlight on each map. So it was very exciting to watch.
And very exciting to cast. A lot of things to talk about, exactly as you said. In fact, there was so much that we left unsaid because there was just so much going on between each team. Very good play on both of them. Just very exciting to watch.
Yep. So again, this is only the first week of the tournament, so there's a lot more to see of these players as we go further.
We'll also be seeing some games tomorrow night and Friday night as well. So stay tuned for those. We're gonna have some other people casting those, but great casters. I talked with one of them, and they provided tips with me. Like, they're very great, and the teams are very great to watch. So stay tuned for those. And those will be, so we have one on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and another one on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Awesome. So I'll be really excited to watch those in Twitch chat myself.
Yeah, I'll actually
So,
be competing on the one on Friday. So
oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll see you pop off a little bit.
one can hope. One
So,
can hope.
so I just want to say thanks for teaming up with me for this cast. It was really great. I thought I had a great time, and I thought we did really well. So, um, again, thanks for Death Blossoms for letting us cast. Thanks for the players for playing such a great game. Thanks all around, and it was just a lot of fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, really great games. Great to watch. Great people viewing it. Thank you all for tuning in. Definitely, if y'all know the teams, tell them how good they did because that was an amazing match to watch. And thank you all for tuning in. All right, and have a great night.